spot the difference? 99% of people can't. Hello friends, my name is Ollie and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I thought I would be talking about something that I have a serious problem with. I am socially awkward. Here are some of my socially awkward stories and their results. So this first story takes place at VidCon 2015. Now, it was the day before VidCon actually started. It started on the 23rd, so it was the 22nd, and I had just gotten into the actual area of the convention. So I was about 10 feet into the area, not like the actual building, but just like in the commons area or the courtyard, I guess you could call it. And I saw Ty Levi and Ben J. Pierce. So of course, me being 12-year-old me, I was like, oh my god, my idols are right there, and I couldn't say a word to them. So I kind of just stood from afar and I was like, those are my idols right there. My dad was like, you need to go talk to them. I was like, no, I can't, I just can't, I cannot. And he was like, yes, you can. And I was like, no, I can't. So he had to physically push me into their direction. And when I saw Tide, he was like, oh my god, you're so adorable. And I was sitting here like, oh my god. Once I was done meeting Tide, I went to meet Ben, and he said the exact same thing. So two of my idols had just called me adorable in a matter of 5 minutes, and of course I was freaking out. I was beyond myself that people I had idolized for a year then, probably somewhere around a year, had just called me adorable, hugged me, and taken a picture with me. And speaking of Ben J. Pierce, I met him 4 times at VidCon, and it was all in the same hat. So I have this Perry the Platypus hat. It's a snapback, and I wore it every single day at VidCon, and I met every creator that was there in that hat. And every time Ben would see me, he was like, oh, it's the hat girl. So, Ben, if you're ever watching this, I still have the hat. Here it is. I still have it. It's been 2 years. Numero dos. So this is also something that happened at VidCon, and it's not me specifically speaking to these people, it's just that I saw them for the first time in my life. When I was at, not the first panel at VidCon with just Dan, but the second panel with both Dan and Phil, the show had ended and I went up to the stage because I thought I saw something, and I was yanked back by the security guard, and I was like, I don't know, I was very upset. So whenever the security guard did that, Phil Lester looked at me and he kind of just like smiled and waved, and I didn't like respond. So I kind of just sat there like, wonderful. No trace. This one is a little weirder than the other two, but this is about somebody that went to my school last year before he graduated. And if you know me in real life, then you will probably know who this is, but for privacy purposes, I'm not going to say his name. This is the story of how I had a huge squish on somebody that went to my school for an entire year. This person was very lovely. He played the piano and he was just all around. He was good. He was a good person. He had a nice soul. That's what I'm saying. I never actually taken it upon myself to become friends with him, even though that's all I wanted. If you didn't know, a squish is whenever you have the desperate need to be friends with somebody. He had this event where it was just him playing piano, and I went and I was like, you know what, he's graduating soon, this is my time to shine. So I finally just went up to him, and my friend Brad had to ruin it by saying, you know, she's been stalking you for the last year. What? The one time that I actually went to talk to this person, he ruined it in a matter of 2 seconds. Okay, anyway, however many words that was, he managed to ruin my entire life because I felt my universe just implode. And he kind of just looked at me, and whenever this friend that had just ruined my life left, I was like, what he meant by that was that I'd be really wanting to talk to you for the past year. And he was like, oh, so we talked. And I was like, I've always just wanted to be your friend. And he was like, well, consider us friends. Numero cuatro. This is something that happened at Stalker Con, and it was that I had went to meet Chandler Riggs, and I didn't realize that I was actually going to meet him. I'd been waiting in his line for maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour, somewhere between those two. And they got to the front of the line. And of course, my friend Clarity was over here. She was in the back of the line. And I kind of like looked at her like, because I knew that I would be meeting him soon, but I didn't know I was going to meet him right then. So after I had turned around from looking at her like a psychopath, he was standing right there, and I didn't realize that I was about to meet him. And I didn't really say anything except for, can we do a picture where we're going back to back with finger guns? I did a 1-finger finger gun, and he did a 2-finger finger gun. So this still bothers me because the picture, I look at it and I'm like, we were almost perfect. We almost had it, but I ruined it. Numero 5, our final story. So somebody that goes to my school works at Panera, and the other day I really wanted to get Panera, so I went in and I was like, you just watch, this is going to be the one that he works at. And it was. So whenever I went to go get the food that I had ordered, I was too short to reach it, and there were 2 trays, not 1. So I was like, do I have to carry all of this? And he kind of just looks at me and he's like, yeah. And I was like, well, can somebody help me? And he's like, sure, this person over here can help you. And whenever I took the food, I didn't give the buzzer back. I kind of just like kept it, and then I was like, oh, I still have the buzzer. So my dad was like, you need to go return it. And I was like, I don't want to. And he was like, why? And he's like, because somebody that goes to my school works here, and I really don't want to have another awkward encounter with him. And he was like, just do it. So I was like, okay. So I actually went to somebody else, and I was like, I forgot to give the buzzer back. And they were like, oh, it's okay, just give it to me. And I was like, okay. Awkward encounters just are horrible, obviously. So that is the end of the video. I might start doing YouNows, so I'll leave a link to my account in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys later.